Are we alive? Is it Friday already? Is it the summer still? Whew. Summer hit us over here. Oh my goodness. You're looking good. You're looking good tonight. Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me. And how you doing? I want to know. I got to know. How are you guys doing tonight? It's the Friday Night Live, and I'm your hostess, Karen from the deeply hot beach. I love it. It was actually a beach day today, and I got to start off right out the gate with some bells for y'all. And so welcome to the Friday Night Live. We got a chock full of awesomeness show for you tonight, and here comes the bell. Shy, don't be shy. All right, and she was the one that invited that one too. So that was for Soul Adventurous, who did give us a beautiful super chat way early before we even got started. We were cooking with fire even before we got started with this here live. And are we so alive tonight? Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. I love getting with you guys. So thank you, Soul. And we've got Ryan in the house. We've got Rufocious Rooted Rockhound in the house and is still on vacation, popping in and out. All right. Well, we would all love to pop in and out of vacation as well. So do some of that for us. Have some fun for us all. Ryan is here, and Ryan is finishing cleaning and cleaning polish wax. Oh my gosh. I can do it. I can do it, you guys. Out of the vibe tumbler, listening to the buzz of katydids in the cornfields. Ah, chichadas. Or are they katydids? Probably the katydids, right? All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. We've got Patricia's Creations and that Opal guy. And if they refuse to buzz, aren't they katydidn't? Indeed. Don always thinking of all the angles. Nice job. Good to see you, Kirk. And yes, all is well over here on this side of the Coast Range. How is your side of the Coast Range? Hopefully you're not too hot. We got hot today. I love the heat. I am so reptilian. Eric the cat is here. Good to see you, Eric. Scott Argyle is also here. Good to see you, Scott. And Wisconsin Rockstock is driving. And Rockwell and Prosper, sir. And yes, the danger noodle. Will it cut? I hope not. Yay! And we have Jahik coming in hot also. Just stopping in to show some love. Can't hang. Thank you so much for coming, Caleb. You rock. Lots and lots of rocks. Here, let's get some bell going. All that bell in your face. Thank you for coming. And also, we'll get Caleb on one of these times. He could have come on tonight on account that he is one of our illustrious superstars this evening. So we'll give him a little bellin later too. But mad props to our guy and the contests. Thanking Caleb for the contest that we are celebrating this evening. We have the Nope Rope, Mr. Turtle Montana. Eric the cat says 5x5. Thank you so much. Yeah, and y'all are freaking out about the snakes. There were two of them. If you want to scrub back at some point at a later time, there were two of those guys sitting on the rocks, and one of them decided to skedaddle, and the other one was like, "What? What? You lack a snake?" And I do actually. They were just little garter snakes. So cute. so cute. And we got the Blind Squirrel Rocks belling the bells, ringing that bell. Brenda Bloom is here. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Allison Prairie Girl Rocks is here, rocking out as she always does. Also, being one of the trusty rusty wrenches that we have in here. Thank you guys for all that you do. And we've got some very groovy action, says Squirrel from the Soul and Freeform, for those wonderful super chats to get us started on the right foot tonight. Tonight we have an eye full to throw at you. So we've got the winners from the cab contest and the jewelry contest. The jewelry contest is new. And so we're going to be announcing those winners, having a look at that. But more importantly, I mean, that's really important. We got to all give them a great big applause for what they did. But we also have new subjects for the month of August, which it already is. And so we're going to make sure everybody knows what the new subjects for the cab contest and the jewelry contest shares the subject with the jewelry showcase. And so we will make sure that you guys know what y'all should be working on in the lab with your slabs. Yeah, for reals. What's on the slab in your lab? Meanwhile, let's get some cheers action going on. Steinkerns to you and yours. I hope that you're feeling good, and if you're not, I hope that you heal soon. I know that there's some folks out there that are dealing with some healing. So cheers, and hope that you have a wonderful rock-filled weekend. Let's do this thing. Oh my goodness. It was kind of like a dehydration kind of day today. So let us all make sure that we are well hydrated this evening for sure. And okay, we've got In and Out sounds good, but would have to drive 45 minutes to get there. So nope. That was again nope on a rope for Don and his burger dreams. Sorry, they are squelched for you. And we've got oh yeah, this is actually news, and something that is like, it's a co-news situation. So Rufotris is going out for a walk. Have fun. If I don't make it back in, I'll see you all Sunday. Faceting Channel live reveal. And so that is the day after tomorrow. Rufotris is talking about getting this this live faceting reveal going. And so that's exciting. And Rufo, if you're still here, we'd love a breakdown of who is in it. If you could do that for us really quick, because I can't do that off the top of my head. But we've got some really talented people in the community who facet that are creating for this this challenge. And so the challenge is based on Lake County diamonds. Everybody got some, and they started a cutting with some facets, and we're gonna see what kind of magic people came up with. And I am working on mine in a pinch. So I'm not going to show you, but I can show you what status it's at. It's behind my fingers in the transfer dop. So I have a short amount of time to cut this crown and get a video out for Rufotris of this here diamond. But I can tell you that I've been working on the prototype happened first. And so I wanted to make sure my plan worked, and it's still trying to work. So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun thing for everybody to tune in with. And let's see, I got a little bit behind with that. So I'm going to try to scroll and catch up to you all. Apple. Oh, right. Yeah, snakes and apples. Um, oh, and Eric is dealing with some healing. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, so cheers to you, Eric. It's so hard to lose a furry friend. And Luna, the cat, I'm sure is smiling down on us. Let's go ahead and give a cheers. And I had a cat named Luna too. Great, great cats named Luna. So from one Luna lover to another, cheers to you, Eric. We're keeping hydrated today. And let's see, we've got, yep, caught up. All right. So tonight we have the announcements, and then we are also going to chat amongst ourselves about our summer our summer rock exploits. I love to just try to amalgamate all the words all at once, and they come out quite the interesting mashup. And so I've got some of my rocks sitting next door to me, and I hope that you guys will also share some of your stories and rocks. It's that time of year, you guys. It's that time of year to get out and check out your rivers and your creeks. And as that water recedes and as everything, got well tumbled over the spring season, and now everything, all the water's going away, sometimes some beautiful things get revealed. We've been spending time at the river, so we're going to see some of the river finds. You guys know I went a few weeks ago, and I did most definitely find a couple of ammonites. I liked going to the Jurassic exposure that we have, which is super exciting, and may or may not have some bone that belongs to a marine reptile. Ugh. Bone that belongs to a marine reptile of the time of the dinosaurs. Didn't have any dinosaurs here that we know of, on account that we were like some kind of a basalt island at the time. Just full of green stone bedrock. And so we do have the marine reptiles, and I may or may not have found another ammonite, guys, that we get to see. And so we've got that going on this evening. And so without further ado, we'll see if the Ma is ready. I think she was, yep, hanging out backstage. We'll bring her on. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm
You
good, thank you.
Kissed by the Sun.
Yep, I've been spending a touch of time in the outdoors as of late. It's a good thing.
You've got a nice flow going.
Yeah. And so what we're doing, for one thing, I would love to ask, because it's always just a fun ask, and you
Okay.
don't have to go into too much detail, but what you
Uh,
working on right now?
what am I working on right now? Oh, well,
Yeah.
I've become obsessed a little bit with gold foil, so I've been working on some stuff and backing it with gold foil and seeing the extra like shimmer and light that brings to things.
Uh-huh.
Little bit obsessed with that. Um,
Yeah.
so
I love
I've
that
been
obsession.
yeah, it's cool, and it'll just be interesting to see. You don't really ever know until you stick it behind something and check it out. And yeah,
Truly.
so that's what I've been doing. And I've been doing some commission stuff and struggling, not having enough material that was sent to do it and waiting on new pieces to show up. But, challenges, and challenges are good.
Yes, they are. They stretch us out, question mark.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's in a good way, and sometimes it can be more than what we felt like we bargained for. And so
True.
hopefully, I mean, I'll admit to everybody listening that I did get to see a little preview of what you were working on, and I'm just Twitter pated. So it's it's
Aw,
it's going to be some good fun to see when you're ready for some reveals and whatnot.
yes. Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
absolutely. And so, but the business at hand, because we have the capability of chatting
So we do.
about all things for great periods of time. But we do have an objective this evening, and what we're going to do is we're going to announce our winners for the cab contest and the jewelry contest, and then we get to talk about the subjects for what happens in the month of August. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
perfectly fit. Yeah.
indeed. And so I think that we could start with the cab contest, if you please.
Oh, certainly.
And one thing that we do have is Jahik Caleb, Freeform Lapidary, was here just a moment ago, and we'd love to give him an applause for being such a wonderful host. And he compiles what we've got going on each month, and the after the voting, this is the lineup that we have. And so, do you want to let them know what the subject was for the cab contest?
Yeah, this is the one that Theo came up with where it was called Nowhere to Hide. And you basically had to use your cool style to make something awesome out of basically just what you maybe normally consider junk rock. So
Right.
people brought their junk rock to the table, and we saw some really pretty cool stuff.
We did. We did
Yeah.
indeed. And you got to see some in the intro, but what we're gonna do is I figured, since we actually have a top three system, and
Mhm.
so do you want to like really thumbnail quickly our system so that people understand that how we get the top three?
Oh, sure. So instead of just picking one person when you're voting, you pick three people. And you do then put those, it's kind of like a tiered voting system where you put your favorite, it's a top, your second favorite, it's number two, and then your third favorite, number three. And then like if you're putting that person in first place, they get 3 points. Second place gets 2 points. Third place gets 1 point. And so then what you're doing is tallying up everything, and whoever gets the most points wins at the end
Uh-huh.
of, yeah. So there you go.
Exactly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show the top three, because for all intents and purposes those are the winners for our contest. And so we uh, one of the things that we did get a chance is to preview some of them, but we didn't get to preview everything last week. Although I'm gonna show our winners, and hopefully this is not only candy for you, but also inspiration, because one of the things about this particular challenge, it was all about not precious materials, and
Yeah.
so no excuses, right? Like,
Yeah.
work with what you have, because
Yes.
anything can become a beautiful cab, as shown here. um and so we've got, this is actually Jahik's submission. You want to talk about this one, Ma?
Yeah, I love it. It's basalt, and it's just got its beautiful little gas bubbles going on here. And I just love how he made a great looking cab out of something that most people will look at and not see something cab worthy. I love it. It's such a good use of negative space. I love it.
Right.
It's a snapshot. Yeah, it's a snapshot frozen in time of something cooling and having cool gas bubbles in it. I mean, and look how thin it is. You wouldn't think that from the front. It's impressive.
Yeah, and sometimes basalt can be a little bit risky to work
Yeah.
with. Yeah, because of the way that it is created and cools.
Mhm.
It's not like you can just bet on it being a super hard thing like an agate.
No, no, and there's literal holes in it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, your chances of it surviving, and the fact that he made one that big out of it is impressive. Like that big and thin, shall we say.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is some pretty rotten Swiss cheese, and like this sandwich, this cheesy melt is fantastic.
Yeah, I
And
love it.
yeah, and I do hope that there's some inspiration to be drawn here on account that if you don't have precious materials, yeah, there that's one thing, but
Yeah.
also look at how kind of artistic and
Hmm.
about like what the artist is doing. Like it's maybe not about the stone, but what kind of artistry and which direction do you want to take it? Like, do you want it to look like tribal, contemporary?
Right.
This has a very totem-esque feeling to me. And so
Yep. That.
yeah, yeah, like it kind of gives you the like a hardcore artist license.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I would do something totally different with this. You would probably do something totally different with this. It's all like what is the person that is in its hands? What did they decide to do with it? And I just love what he did. It's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
a lot of artistry in that.
yeah. Yeah, and I love things where it gets to be a neat balance between the artist and the organic subject,
Right.
whatever that might be, the stone or what have you. That was a very good dance. And we have another dance coming up. Let's see if I can get over here. Oh my goodness me. Sorry.
Sure.
Just
I believe in you, Karen.
I know sometimes it's a little harder than other times. And before we go on, it looked like Jennifer Ship came in, so I wanted to say hello to Jennifer and a hello
Yeah, Jen.
to Cynthia Foss. And go watch Cynthia Foss's new video on her. She had Amber Copal or what have you, and some killer bugs, and so definitely go watch her video. And then Yvonne, good to see you too, and I will belabor this no more, and go ahead and tell us what this might be all about, Ma.
Oh, I wanted to make a little scene, and I wanted to create them out of. Well, and first of all, I guess I should say I used slate, and I basically went at it with a chisel and broke it into flat little pieces, and then built up 3 little sections, and then kind of put them near each other. And there's one other layer underneath all of it that I coated in gold foil. I wonder what started the
A trend, perhaps.
and then I layered on a couple layers of tinted resin, a couple little plants. I'm using air quotes around my plants because they're the stuff that's made for like train sets and that kind of thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then I put a bunch of different layers of resin on top of it to build it up to the height of the cabochon, and then I just cut and polished it all as like if it were one stone.
And
So it's fun.
diorama lovers are us, and so
Yeah.
it totally it definitely rang a few of my bells. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yay.
no way, that is so
Yeah, I
incredible.
mean, I considered putting a little boat in there or some people on the shore. Like I kind of had to stop myself a little bit. Like, okay, calm down. Take a step back. But yeah, it was fun. It was just fun creating the depth in there and the different tiered layers. And then what I ended up doing, which I don't think I talked about the last time I was on there, was that I did a dry brushing technique. And I didn't do it great, but I did it because when you put the resin over these rocks, you lost a lot of detail, like where the edges of things are. So I just did a really quick little dry brush just
Yeah,
to bring out the texture a little bit more and not have that get lost when it gets quote unquote wet.
That was exactly the point that I was going to bring up, is that sometimes, rocks be better wet, and then other times rocks be better when they are dry, and you can see like the shadows of things, the way that the light refracted through your epoxy, it was not creating an ability for the light to make its shadows happen and whatnot. And so
I
had to
I
fix
thought
it.
about like I didn't do anything to the very bottom of it because that's where the river is. So
Uh-huh.
those rocks I left alone because I wanted them to look like what they would look like with water on them. But the other part is it's like representative. And so it's supposed to be air, you know? So I needed to make them look dry. And it's the only
Right.
way I could do that.
We need to wet them to make them look dry. Is what needs to happen.
It was fun though. I watched a lot of like D&D tutorials on like how to like make fake landscape out of foam, but applied it to rocks. It was pretty funny. I'm like, how can I make my rocks look more rock-like in the
Uh,
situation?
right? Yeah, that is epic. Yeah, it's like you're rock. You're not being rock enough. Come on, like
Rock
you need to.
harder.
Yeah, rock harder. Sierra Hounder, welcome in. And so yeah, everybody's pretty much all saying what a magnifique piece that is,
Oh,
which it truly
so
is.
sweet. Thank you.
Such a treat. And so, honestly, all of these challenges have just merited plain old fun for all of us to sit
Oh, it's
around
so
and
fun.
watch y'all like drizzle your cold sweats on your stones while you're making these, like eye candies for us to see. So I thank you all for that. Like I would really like to thank everybody for participating because you guys are, you know that you're all rock stars.
It's so it's just so fun to see what people come up with month to month.
Oh yeah.
It makes my
Yeah.
day. I wake up and there's new submissions. I'm like, yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my cursor is freezing. Um
Curses. Curses on the cursor.
It's such a hot day. I don't understand how that could be, but we'll just go ahead and hang out here for a second while it unfreezes itself.
That's fine.
Yeah. And so what the grand master of the Theoness, and we're gonna see his beautiful piece here as soon as we get unfrozen. But he did choose a new theme for us, and
Yeah.
I don't think it would be spoiling anything if we discuss that while we're figuring out
Oh,
what's the
sure.
matter.
Mix it up a little bit while
Yeah.
your cursor stops being
Well, we're
cursed.
cursing my cursor. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So okay, so I'll say his new theme, and it is, I will say, as it got pointed out by Ryan, it's very similar to the very first challenge that we had, which Karen actually came up with that idea, which was kind of finding a picture within a stone. But Theo wasn't around for that. Like he had Discord at that time. He was on it, quote unquote, but he had uninstalled it because of problems. So he had no idea this was something that had already kind of been done, but he added to it to make it literally look like a picture frame and have it be a square or a rectangle. And you're just going to basically either do an intarsia piece, a triplet piece, find a piece of rock that's already got a picture in it, whatever you want to do to create some sort of scene in the rock, or
Gotcha.
highlight a scene in the rock. And there's extra
Cool.
bonus points that get you absolutely nothing if you put a frame around it in some way. He wanted that kind of stress. Like he's like he wanted everyone to do it, but realized it was going to be something not everybody could do, was to frame it out. But
Yeah.
you get bonus points that get you absolutely nothing if you do it, which is perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I nobody has started that challenge yet, right?
I'm sure people have started. Nobody
Oh,
has
I
posted.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
post. Yeah.
Nobody has entered anything yet. No.
Indeed. So since I'm still oh, wait. Okay. Unfrozen. Thank goodness, because I think that the brain of my computer is getting a little hijacked. Like I think it was maybe trying to update or something like that, and so it was like not running fast. So
That's
sorry
okay.
about Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna. Whoop, nope,
Exactly.
that's not what I want. We are going to get that one up now. It is the time to reveal the grandmaster of this particular theme. Up here. Here we go. Ah, there it worked. And so, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, and we will take a little tour here.
Okay, so he made this beautiful scene using, junk rocks. He's got some Kemmerer material. I don't even remember what it's called, like oil shale or something at the bottom there.
Yeah, I
I
think you got
can't.
that right.
I'm very. I don't know if you can read his entry because that's literally the only one that I can remember.
Yeah, when we're done looking at the pretty pictures, then I can go back to the script and read, but it's share
But
screening, so I can't do both.
I believe that there's about 30 stones total in this, and man, it's just lovely.
Mhm.
He did a
Yeah,
great
that's
job
pure
mimicking,
insanity.
yeah, he did a great job mimicking the texture of the cliffs, like what they really look like, by picking a stone that had the same kind of striations and stuff. And
Yeah, you were talking about the stratigraphy. I can say it last time, and yeah, I really appreciated that he kind of did a proper stratigraphy job.
yeah,
Why is that word so hard?
I don't know,
I
because
don't know
words are.
either. Yeah, I need more oil shale in my mug apparently to just lubricate the whole situation. Oh, I want to go back to that one. Actually, okay, there you go. You look at that pile of rocks and the little picture right there, and you go like, heck yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, right?
Well, of course, yeah, of course. That's what all of us just would obviously do. No
Right,
brainer.
right.
He's
Yeah,
a little bit of a
completely.
genius.
Just a touch
Just a
around the
touch.
edges.
Just
Yeah.
yeah, just genius adjacent for sure. And yeah,
Genius adjacent.
I
Yeah.
literally said that for him because he loves
Our
saying
friend.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like it's just he sees things in a different way, and I absolutely love it and admire it and think it's fantastic.
Yep, yep.
Come on, man.
It's super cool. And so obviously well deserved to be able to call the shots for our next challenge.
Yes.
And so like you don't have to reveal anything, but do you know what you're going to do? The
Uh,
next cab
I have
cab
I
challenge?
have for this challenge, yeah, I have ideas, and it's just going to kind of be a matter of like, will those ideas work? As it always kind of is, because yeah, I can't ever do anything simple.
Well,
Um,
yeah, like it. I think that a simple sometimes is elegant and other times is boring. So there's that. And then
right.
also I like definitely your theme seems to be like take me to another level. I want to be challenged. I'm going to do something
Yeah,
that makes me a
it's kind of
bigger, better, faster, stronger.
yeah, and that's exactly it. It's like I want to try something new. I don't want to do exactly what I've done before, kind of thing. And so I've got some ideas, and it's really funny. I was talking to Ryan, and he had very, very similar ideas about what he might be doing. He wasn't sure if he was going to have the time to do it or not, but we were joking. He was making a joke like, I'll tell you, but you can't steal it and then go win. And then told me it, and I was like, I'm basically doing the same thing, dude. Like,
Right, right.
it's one of those things where like your brains can all just kind of get on the same track without you knowing it. So
So weird.
it's going to be so fun to see if he can get the time to do what he was thinking of doing, and I would love to see like two different people's kind of take on not the same exact thing, but a very kind of similar idea. And yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be fun, and we'll see if it works.
for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. And yeah, I think Tara, I know I'm old enough to get strategery. I bet you more people in this room do as well. And good to see you. Thanks for coming by. And so the next thing that we have to talk about. So we have rules for the cab contest, which you get
Right.
to select also like some of the rules. There are basic rules that are, just immutable. They're just cardinal. But the other rules you get to
Yeah.
kind of flip flop around. Like, is Intarsia okay?
Is the last
And yada
not.
yada yada. And so you can go to the Discord and read those extra little things, and then you can start getting started with your project ASAP as well.
Thank
And
you.
we highly endorse it. And so if you are watching, you can be part of the Discord, and if you're part of the Discord, you can be part of the contest. And so if you need an invite to the Discord, let us know, and we can pop a link into the chat, and you can start being part of that whole thing. We are a community. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but there are things that we do for each other that are, gestalt is a worn out word, but it's actually no truer a word for what I see happen with all you guys getting together and not only serving each other a bunch of motivation and inspiration, but help and just all the things that, like sending each other rocks if somebody doesn't have a certain kind or whatever. It's just a beautiful thing. And so, oh, thank you,
Beautiful
Allison. She
community.
popped up the Discord link right there. And so, not to like, I'm not even talking specifically about the Discord. It's a great node. It's like,
That's an extension.
it is. It's a playground. It's like, hey, everybody, we're going to go over to that playground over there, but there are other playgrounds. And the community is still, we love you all. The community is like a flow of love, a flow of rocks, regardless of if you're, over at that playground or over at another playground. It's like the kids in the neighborhood, they play wherever, right? That's you guys. That's us. We love you
Exactly.
all. And so, anyways, I did want to we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I love the support that the community gives each other. And so, what we've got going next is the jewelry contest. Do you want to tell them about what happened last month for the jewelry contest?
Can you repeat the question? My ear, they did that thing where I heard half of your sentence. Very sorry.
Yeah, and maybe also our viewers at home felt the same way. And so we started the new jewelry thing last month. Would you want to fill people in on that?
Oh yeah, so it started out as a jewelry showcase, which is just another fun, cool thing to do. That everybody could participate in if they would like to, where it's not a contest, you put things up that you'd like to show that you're working on in a particular topic. And then there seemed to be some interest from people that they would like to have a kind of like a version of the cab contest, but for jewelry making. So we acquiesced and made both of those things happen. And so at the very beginning, we were going to have two separate themes, like each month for the showcase, people that were going to take part in that could vote. But it kind of became clear after we had the first month where we both had the same one. We both had to do a blue and green subject. It was really fun to have everybody kind of working on the same thing. It was really fun to have a place to, like, maybe you made more than one thing. Now you can go show off your other piece you made that you're not entering in the contest. Or I just think it feels more community minded to everybody have it like you're all working on the same thing. You're all inspired by the same thing. And it's kind of like, where can we all take this together?
I think it really ratcheted everything up a notch,
Uh-huh.
having that spill zone of like, hey guys, I just finished this thing. I'm working on 3 more though. And like here's this one. And everybody kind of, having a chance to sort of, it's so cool to be able to show off something that you just finished, have a
Right.
forum for that, and then have, some feedback and be able to bounce, off of that. And so James, thank you for being a member for 11 months. I love you for that. Let me go ahead and ring the bell for you, and we'll get some jewelry up here right after that. So everybody, Steinkern and cheers. And also, Brenda has something cool to say here.
Okay.
I expect to pass through this world once. Any good, therefore, that I can do or any kindness I can show, let me do. I love that. Amen to that. And so, I really feel like the community has the tendency to reflect that. You guys are some of the kindest people, I think, on the planet. I'm just in complete awe with how cool the community of rock people is. And so here we go. Here's our July jewelry competition winners. And so we've got Ma here at the top. We have Theo Kellison, and then we have Wisconsin Rockstalker. And so it was quite a successful first month, I would say. What was your experience?
I was a little bit worried up until about like the last couple days of it, where entries just popped in out of nowhere. Like it was like ping, 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 ping. And it made me feel good. I got a little bit worried. Like you put a little bit of, and it's not like it's a ton of work, but you put something together and then you're like, oh, is it going to be received well? Are people going to even bother? Is it going to be just the two people that wanted it that enter? So it was really, really great to see not only participation but such beautiful stuff.
Oh yeah. And so we're going to start with the runners up, the third and second, like we did with the last ones. And so we have No Jazz Jerry like coming out hot with this guitar. I freaking love it. You want to talk about this a bit?
This little Les Paul, it's so cute, and I love that he used pet wood. I love that he gave it strings that I believe he made out of sterling silver. It's it's adorable.
Yeah, and so
it looks
the
just
concept, yeah, is just fantastic, and the fact that he was able to see it through to the finished piece is just outstanding.
He put his two little pickups in there. It's just so cute. It's just clearly this man has a guitar. The details are all.
Yeah. We love this piece, and so that was a great beginning to the let's take that down for a second. To our the foray into all this, and people were adding their little rock emojis right afterwards, which made me crack up. And so you're right.
If you put that one up there.
Right. Well, it's that dude in the kilt headbanging.
It's so perfect.
Yeah, right. And so actually that would be kind of cool for you to address here really quick, is that we have a dual system for the jewelry, where it's kind of like the cab contest, where we've got a couple of threads going, a couple of channels, if you will. Why don't you go ahead and elucidate on that?
Oh, it did that thing where it's like the second you ask me a question, it cuts out at the end.
Oh, just let us know, like, what are we doing with the two channels? The service of having one for chat and the other one for pretty pictures.
Oh, right. Okay. So with both the showcase and with the contest, we've decided not to create a new channel each month. And the big motivating factor about that is how cool is it if you have, like, let's say that you're somebody who joins Discord in 10 months from now and you find out they've got a jewelry contest. You can go to the submissions page and you can just scroll and scroll and scroll. And there's not comments that are muddying it up, which we love people's comments, but sometimes you just want to look at pictures, right? So now it's a scrollable gallery of people's best things they put forward. And it's like that in both the showcase and in the competition, where the submission page is a locked page, kind of like, I mean, you can put stuff up there, but I'm gonna take a screenshot of it and then delete it. Sorry, love you, but sorry. We just want to keep it like that so that it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful source of inspiration. If you're having a bad day and don't know what to work on, go look at some pretty stuff that either you or others have made and get re-inspired. And then the chat channel that's assigned to each of those things is the place for you to go and just gush over the work that somebody did.
Yeah, it really is one-stop shopping for inspiration. Or, you know, if sometimes working in the midst of other people helps you to become motivated. Like if you're
Yeah.
having trouble like firing up your torch, or, you know, bringing out your hammer to whack on things. Sometimes when you see somebody else playing with the toys, you're like, okay, that's enough of that. Like I need to get, you know, my
It's so
tickets in gear.
so
And
motivational.
yeah, it really is, you know, just fantastic eye candy to look through. And so what we've got here is the second place finish, and it is the Mr. Theo Kellison once again. And you want to talk about this here piece
Oh
of
yeah.
gorgeousness?
Yeah, and I do assume that, and I think that I forget sometimes, like I just assume everybody's seen like all of his videos and know what Theo's doing and whatever, but this is made from a stone he went and found himself. He then took them and processed, and making triplets of this stuff is hard and tedious and super fun. Not gonna lie, but it's a lot of work. And so the fact that this man made every aspect of this beautiful thing you see in front of you is incredible. And I think maybe it kind of can get lost sometimes. Like he made that happen. That beautiful play of color is there because he went and found it and protected it under some quartz and then literally fabricated the entire piece. It's incredibly impressive and it's beautiful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I really like his route as far as this is a wonderfully statementy band. Like you've
Yeah.
got a nice, solid, big, you know, mirrory band. You've got
Yeah.
a really gently simple and in this way, simple means elegant as far
Yeah.
as the bezel treatment and the base
Absolutely.
plate goes. And so I think that,
What do you
you
call
know,
it?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to ask, like, is there a particular style where you've got the bezel that's going up, but then it's got like a little bit of a frame around it at the bottom? Is there a name for that? Like
Um,
that technique?
body or base plate. I mean, there's not really a name for like that I know of. Like, you know,
I'm just
maybe a
curious.
portrait stone.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I can think of a little handful of terms, but I don't think that there's like anything that's really like official.
Right. It's not like a
Please
known.
correct me if yeah.
I have no idea.
If
I love it because I like how it like beefs it up, but it's very simple. Like elegant is actually the word I'm looking for. It's clean. It's clean.
is yeah, and sometimes, you know, the jewelry wants to be jewelry, and then other times, like you guys have heard me say before, it just wants to be the pimp, you know? You just want
Yeah.
to have it hold the rock, and the rock is doing all the work for
Right.
the beauty of it.
Right.
Yeah. But it, you know, you can mess that up too, and in this regard, like everything is done to, you know, the point where it just shows off the rock in the nicest way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I like
And
the
he said,
execution here.
yeah, and he said that doing things like this contest are what make the room to do stuff like this. And that, like, I mean, he's a silversmith that's working on, stuff all the time. But this, he gave himself, he wanted to like have fun making the contest, but he made it for himself. And
Uh-huh.
he probably would have just off and put that off and put that off until forever, because you're like, I can make it anytime for me, you know?
Right.
So the contest gives him that little breathing space to be like, no, but can be about whatever you want it to be. And if you want to keep it and wear it yourself, you can. And I love that. Like, I love that he walked away from this whole thing with something that he literally says he just wears every single day. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think you bring up a wonderful point about jewelry making there. And
Hmm.
there are so many different tiers of why somebody wants to create a thing. Sometimes it's because of the idea,
Yeah,
sometimes it's because of the challenge, other times it's because you want to have a thing, other times it's
yeah,
because somebody else wants a thing that you can make done.
yes,
you know like there's all these different factors that come into why you're stepping up to the plate and you're making a jewelry piece in the first place.
right.
Although I adopted an adage that another jewelry maker kind of shared with me a long, long time ago.
Ooh, I want to
And
hear.
well, it's not that big. It's not a like huge shoe to
But
drop here.
if it
But
shifted you in some way, that's cool. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh yeah, no worries. And you'll empathize with this right away, I think, is that she said to me, create like you're making it for either yourself or your most beloved person.
Oh yeah.
And and that like there's just an adoption of a certain ethic, and a kind of need to complete it in a certain way as far
Yes.
as your quality and your oversight. Most of the time, I don't want to let my pieces go. The only
Yep.
time I want to let my pieces go is when they're in the like timeout chair because they were bad to me.
Yeah.
Then I want them to
Those
go out
ones
the
are
window.
easy. Those ones are easy. Yeah.
Yeah,
See
yeah,
ya.
just get out of here. But most of the time, like I care so much about each piece that, I'm just elated when somebody else likes it as much as I do and wants it and like it's going to a good home, but I will be sad to not have it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know those
And
feels.
so, yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I understand that if somebody's trying to make a living off of this, which isn't easy, that you have to like you literally have to be able to pump out some jewelry. And that's
Yeah.
not easy to do when your like heart is
Yeah.
in every single piece. But if you can figure out how to make each piece sincere like that,
Yep. And
the person who gets it will always pick up on that.
yeah, it'll that's the thing. It's taking care of the little things on it. It's it's not glossing things over because it's just going, it's, oh, someone bought it already. Why do I need to put in extra work? Oh, yeah. Well, because you should want it to be like, if you make, like you said, making it for yourself or a loved one, like, or think about, like, I think another good way to be like making, like, you're making it for another person that does the same thing you do, because they're going to be like, oh, let's see how you did this piece. Oh,
Yeah, somebody's gonna look at it underneath a loop.
yeah.
No.
Well, well, let's hope not. But like, but yeah, but that's the kind of thing, like, make it as beautiful and perfect as you'd want it to be if it was going to someone you love or yourself or
Yeah.
somebody that was going to be critical in the nicest way possible and check, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, this is so
that's
true.
important. In my
Yeah.
opinion, that's important.
Yeah, yeah. I love all that. And I know a lot of people are even harder than that on themselves.
Yeah.
But and then at the same time, you could work on the same piece of jewelry for the rest of your life and never be finished with it because there's always some anomaly or something that went wrong on it that you have to still
Right.
keep on fussing over. And so
I
you
mean,
gotta
there,
let them
at a
go.
certain point, you do have to draw the line. Like, okay, yeah, you could obviously improve anything forever. Like, yeah, of course.
Like
But
I really
yeah,
go ahead.
well, it's just like, it's one of those. I was thinking about this earlier today. It's like, I want to be in a position where I can do like silversmithing and that kind of stuff. But if I wait till I can do the thing I really like my dream of where I want to be, I wouldn't be making anything, right?
Right.
So, like, do what you can with what you can, and when you get there, you can just kind of incorporate all of it and make your best thing. But like, don't wait for things to be perfect or lined up, or I need just more equipment, or you'll be waiting forever,
It's
you
so
know?
true. It's so true. And yeah, I mean, I've been faceting a bunch lately, and it's really funny how the stone gets smaller and smaller and smaller the more perfect you get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
that, there is like a truism there that kind of can cross some different subjects. Like, do you want the mass of it, or do you want the perfection of it? Choose one.
right. Please check one.
Yeah. So
The only thing,
sometimes
like,
you just
if
gotta know
there's
when to
three
stop.
options, you get two of them. You don't get all three of them. Like, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
get you.
So yeah, we've been playing with that in the Ozone studio. I was gonna say theater, which also works. Yeah, so a lot of times it feels like some kind of a comedy theater in here, and so we've got this beautiful thing. Let us know what this is. The winner, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations, winner.
Congratulations, Ma. Tell us about this beautiful thing.
Okay, so I was meandering into Spencer Opal, as you do, and the host rock coming up to where the actual opal was looked like a mountain to me. So I was like, okay, that's sorry, buddy, but that's what you're gonna be now. That's your mountain now. You're a snow-covered mountain. And then I decided that I would just kind of and it was like I think I did this after we picked the blue and green, and the colors in the opal were blue and green primarily.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just perfect. And so I just made a little scene. There was a crack in the opal, as will happen because it's very, very thin. When you're doing these triplets, you have to get them so thin. And it would have been fine, but I was like, maybe I'll carve a little moon and stick it right over that crack, and it'll be even better because then there's a gold moon floating in the sky.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I, I
It
just
just all
pulled the
came together
colors.
so nicely.
I just pulled the colors from the opal itself. From there, I pulled like I had some malachite that I've been sitting on forever, and then some petersite, and the colors just worked perfect together. And so I did that, and then it's got a quartz cap on it, and it's backed with some. I'm trying to remember. I literally just had to pick up the stone and look. It's a. It's it,
Cheating,
it,
cheating.
it, it's backed with petwood from Theo. His like the carboniferous. Wait, am I saying it right?
That
It's
sounds
the
right.
it's the petwood that's like just basically black.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was. I loved making it. It's one of my favorite things I've ever made. It
Yeah, yeah, it's gorgeous.
it's super shimmery on every level. Like I almost felt bad, like for the like. Sorry, Opal, I'm gonna put a little Petersite right here, man. Sorry, sorry. So you guys are gonna have to compete a little bit with like what are people gonna look at? You are the Petersite,
There
but
we go.
it's
We've
yeah,
got a moving
it's fun.
picture here so that you can see like what I love about the Petersite is it just reminds me of when I'm looking out at the ocean and
Yeah.
there's the swirling clouds and the sky that
Mhm.
actually ends up kind of being reflected in the
In the
same
water.
mood in the ocean.
Yep.
That's what this reminds me of so much, and
Yeah.
then you've got like a massive cloud bank with the moon and the stars, and then, it sort of just, like, is this, like, repeated, vision.
Right. And it's like it was subtly done, and I mean I'm gonna be honest with you, like the white in it to me is mountains, but it also so much looks like clouds. Like I totally see both, and they both work,
Yeah.
which is fun. And it's like I did want to like I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a representative like uh land and then water. And then I was like, well, now I want to repeat it at the top to make it look balanced. And then it just kind of worked.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It sure
I
did.
didn't start out going, this is what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm doing. It's this like when I do intarsia pieces, it's like I build the middle and then the top and the bottom. I might have idea for one or the other, but then it just kind of it does its own thing. I'm just like, okay, where are you taking me, man? Where are we going? Okay,
Right.
cool. Yeah.
Which I think a lot of creators, which we have a chat full of creators right now, and what I'm makers, like, people who are making these kinds of things, lapidary jewelry, etc.
Right.
And yeah, sometimes you've got your vision, but it seems like it is always a dance with the actual material. And well, what do you want me to do? Because sometimes my vision isn't going to be exactly what this material wants, and so you got to listen to the material too.
Oh, and that happens so often.
Yeah, yeah.
So often.
And yeah, and
Yeah,
so
you start out with one person. It just morphs. It keeps morphing.
yeah, and I think that being pliable to be able to kind of, just flow with that is important. Where, one of the things that I used to see a lot in my gallery when people would come in to show me artwork that I could maybe hang in my gallery, I
Hmm.
could see some struggle in their art. And sometimes I know you know what I'm talking about, and those of you who are in the chat, probably you've seen it in your own work where you're like, boy,
Yeah.
did you ever fight me? And I can see it. And then other times, wow, that just really, really flowed and worked, and I love it. It's like, unfortunately, sometimes it's not only a vibe that you get with your own work, but other people can see it too. Like,
Unfortunately,
oh,
sometimes
that was a
picked
fight.
up by anyone looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I know
so
what you mean.
yeah, but that's not in any way, that doesn't mean that is a bad piece. It means that that was a learning piece. And sometimes the pieces with a lot of
Absolutely.
struggle are the art. Like, you look at some artists and you're like, oh, that's a lot of struggle. Like, they made their money on struggle. you know, Francis Bacon and
It's
some of the
struggle.
expressionists, you're like, yeah, if you didn't have struggle, maybe your artwork would have been boring. But you
Point.
know however the making works for you, hopefully you're making the lemonade at all. And so
Right.
what is our we have like a new jewelry challenge since you
Yeah.
won. What are we looking at with that now?
Oh, I just made it. I kind of wanted to make it vague so that people could just kind of run with whatever they wanted to do. So I picked translucency, and it's probably because I'm in love with translucent things. Like I can look at a jasper and love it. I can be like, that's very pretty. But if you want to get my heart pumping, show me something that light shines through the back of. Show me something can backlight, and I'm gonna be like, oh, it's even prettier now, you know? And so I highly kind of encourage that, like, because there's not like there's rules, but I kind of suggested like take a backlit picture if you can, play up the fact that light is going to go through this thing. And so translucency is the theme. And there's so many ways people can take that, and I can't wait to see what they do.
So I would love, actually, since we're in the gravid minefield of a bunch of literal minds.
Okay.
So what kinds of, like, let's have some candy. What
Okay.
things do you envision, like a backlit, and we're talking about a jewelry piece.
Right.
Give us a few of examples, if you will, just to start
Oh,
some dreamers off.
oh, sure. And like I think that I put this in the little brief about what it was like maybe because you can change kind of the look of what you're making by letting light shine through it, maybe put it in something with an open back. So that there's not like a solid piece. You can do whatever you want. Like I'm not saying like, oh, you have a beautiful agate, don't put a back on the cabochon or on the bezel. Like do whatever you want, do you. But I really want to play up that the lightness of things. Maybe use beads that have that same kind of thing that you can kind of pull translucently through to the rest of the piece, or just however you want to translate it and make it work for you. I want to see it. Like I think that it'll just be so fun, and it's
Yeah.
broad. There's so many things that you can just put a flashlight behind it. You can see light through it. You're good.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I just can't wait to see what people come up with.
So yeah, there are a few things where light from behind actually improves the subject, like say an
Oh,
iris
yeah.
agate or a contraltise
Mhm.
opal. And
Uh-huh.
so
Or shade. Mhm.
yeah, and so uh, there's also some applications that change the ability for a piece of jewelry to be translated into a translucent thing, like say the earring,
Right.
where you get to see light play all the way around the subject. Whereas
Right.
if you're talking about a bracelet, a ring, and even a pendant, you
Yeah.
are most of the time, limited as to how much light can enter from behind. But,
Right.
and
While
this
you're
is
wearing
a huge
specs.
but, and we all
Yeah.
love big butts, is that if you do a setting that lets the light in, that is a
Mhm.
whole nother game changer. One of the reasons why a lot of faceted gems have prongs is so
Yep.
that the light comes in the basket, as
Right.
opposed to closing the light off if you create a bezel or a slot setting or a gypsy setting, like a flush
Right.
setting, any of those shut down a certain amount of light. Now, if you want to go for a colored gem that has a whole bunch of juicy color that might bleed out, back
Right.
that, back that,
Yeah.
back it all the way up.
Well,
But
right. Yeah,
if
like just to say, oh, sorry. So
no,
sorry.
no, no,
Go.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, a good example of when you want to do something specifically for a particular type of thing is, let's say, fire obsidian. It needs a back because it needs to reflect the light back so that you see the rainbow, like so you see the oil slick in it. You hold it up to the light, you can't really see, like, if light's passing all the way through it, if it's very thin, it's just, you have to kind of play with what you've got and the effect you're trying to go for to get
Yeah,
where you're going.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I encourage, for this jewelry competition, play with some different configurations with your stone if you're thinking of how does this light enter. The back isn't the only way, that
No,
like there's a generous amount of surface material that the sides represent. And it's
absolutely.
amazing. Like if you take your fingers and you just close the stone and maybe even like back cap it, like what does that look like as opposed to just opening up that side. And
Right.
so you think about some of the stones like labradorite and moonstone,
Hmm.
any of the feldspars really, that take a schiller. A
Yeah.
lot of times if you close the sides, you limit some of its expression. And
Right.
so sometimes people will think like, "Oh my gosh, that was such a cool stone. What did I just do to it?" I
Right.
just put it
Where
I
did
put
it
it
go?
in a bezel setting and it lost its life. What happened?
Right. And what was I'm trying to remember. There was something that we were talking about. It was something that Theo had made where he figured out he had to frost the back to make the light come back. Oh, it was when he did the thing with the rainbows in it, which, like, the effect that you'll get if there's a fracture in
Right.
quartz makes the rainbows. But if he did a clear, I no, was it the sides or the back? There was something though. But see, there's weird
It
tricks.
was yeah, it was washing out the light play. And
Right.
so yeah, um I think that one of the things that I value the most from becoming a cutter of facets
Right.
is understanding some of that, and taking a little bit more notice to what is going on with angle and with light. And so that's basically, kind of what we're talking about here, but you can apply that with your setting for jewelry.
Absolutely. Well, and thank you for bringing that up because it's like, obviously I'm not a faceter, so I don't think about that, but that's such an important element. Like, yeah, where can you let all that light in from, and what's the
Right.
best for each stone? So yeah, thank
Sure.
you for bringing that up. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and, we said fire, obsidian, and bam! Kyle shows up. So, hey, Kyle, what's up? The Wizard of Bob is here. Thanks for coming. He's working and a lurking, and yeah, we've got oh, and I guess Lava Bison had an incident with that too. And so we're all learning, but what I recommend doing, and I guess one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of pull this like particular thread was
Mhm.
that when you're mocking up a piece of jewelry, and when I say mocking up, you take your stone and you take some of the assembly items, if you're wire wrapping, if you're doing
Mhm.
silver, if you're doing copper, whatever, and you start kind of like just without doing any effort of actually making the thing, you're
Right.
putting the things together so that you kind of get an idea of like, okay, these are the pieces that I'm working with.
Right.
If you kind of can place some objects, even if it's a piece of tape that is being the bezel,
Right.
find out what kind of dynamic does this make, as opposed to maybe prong setting this stone, like which one does it like more, like when you're
Yeah.
trying to think of the light. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's so smart. And I've seen you do that where you're showing where you're just mocking things up and you have like the little tube or whatever you hold it up on. And that gives you a lot of ideas of like, okay, even if there's not like light coming from directly the back, there's still light coming in from the sides, and like you get a better idea of what it's going to look like. And it's
Right.
just so smart. And it's like you wouldn't, I don't know if it's something that everybody would intuitively think to do. So that's awesome.
I encourage playing with your stones. Like,
Play
and this is like
all the
purely
things.
play. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so play before you start making a piece of jewelry. Rocky Mountain Bear, good to see you tonight. And got to focus on how that light bounces off the cleavage. This is very important. It is an important fact. And so, yeah, like when I'm going to tube set a
Oh,
gem, I make a little tube and I sink the gem into it and I see if I can deal with it killing the fire in it, you know?
right.
And like
Yeah.
if it survives, like if it's got a bright cut or something like that, I'm like, "Hey, you look great in there." Fine.
Yeah.
I will see it first because I don't wanna find that out when,
No.
I'm like 3 quarters through a piece of
Uh,
jewelry and I don't like the way that it's turning out, because 'cause I'm making
yeah.
it for me or the person that I love most, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and that's just, yeah, that's the thing. It's like I do a lot of weird stuff to try to figure out what is this going to look like when it's done. Because the last thing you want to do is, and this is the thing, like even with like the stuff I've been doing with gold foil, I can have the idea and think, oh, that'll look great. I can hold a piece of gold foil behind it and be like, oh yeah, it'll look pretty. You don't actually know that's what that's going to look like until it's shaped the way you're going to shape it.
Right.
And you've backed it with whatever you're going to back it with, and you don't like look, and if you've even started shaping the stone, you can't see the gold through it really. It's all fuzzy and foggy.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
like a lot of times I will literally pour UV resin on the top of what I'm working on and cure it just so I can see through it and see what is the light doing, because that will eliminate it. It's like it makes it look like it will when it's polished so that you can get an idea. Do I like what this looks like, or am I going to stop now before I waste a bunch of time? You know?
Oh, that's so true. Yeah, that's another place where the mock-ups can really help. And I understand with like, wire wrapping and some stuff is like, you're going for it after like 10 feet of wire.
Yeah, you're committed. You're
You get to
committed.
find out. Yeah. But it is kind of cool to suss some of this stuff out if you can ahead of time.
For
And there's even computer programs like, the Gem Cut Studios is amazing. I plucked the little darling that I'm working on right now out of like, I knew I wanted to do the cut, but I
sure.
wanted to see what it might look like when it's been cut, and Gem Cut Studios did that for me. I'm like,
See, that's an awesome tool.
I like that. And
Yeah.
so,
And so
yeah.
you've gotten a little bit of experience with that program. And so would you say, like, I'm sure you've thrown stuff in that program and it's shown you what it could quote unquote look like?
Yeah.
How's the comparison like to when you actually do it? Is it comparable to where
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
would say
okay, yeah,
yes.
I can taste it?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it does the thing. I mean, if anything, and I love this. This is something, that Theo would probably abundantly agree with. But stuff always looks better in person.
Oh, of
And
course.
so, the computer program goes like, here's where you're going to see windows in your facets. Here's where, your brilliance is going to be. These are the upsides and downsides of what this looks like. And you can change the angle in GemCut so that you
Right.
can see it from, the different plays of light basically.
Yeah.
And
Instead of
it
spinning around.
always looks better live. How
Of
cool
course.
is that? So if it looks cool on
If it
GemCut
looks good there,
Studio.
it'll look even better in real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
That's nice because it's one of those things where like you can see something in your mind and create it, and it's always so much better if it looks even better than it was in your imagination.
yeah.
It's a letdown when it's not. So I can just imagine that would be such a useful thing to do because, and especially putting in all the work that you do with faceting,
Yeah.
you can't like undo it. There's no undo
No.
button there.
Well, and that's why I say, when you feel like something's not going right, your stone just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. My first
Yeah.
my first stone, and I was talking to Theo most of the time through my very first faceted stone, and nobody had the same machine that I had,
Yeah.
and I had to kind of just figure it out by myself. My
Yeah.
stone was so small. I started with a big fat sunstone because I have lots of those, and
Right.
I decimated it like nobody's business. It was just gone.
It
And I
went
think
from a
I have
10
it.
carat. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it goes from like 10 points to 1 point. You're like,
It's a tiny little like teardrop of a stone. Yeah. And so, you that's how you don't undo problems, I guess. But no, visualizing is important. And I think that, if you can play with your metal and your stone, and like
mhm.
if you intend on it needing a backing, like do you patina the metal behind it, or how can you figure into your config what's going to be the most beneficial.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a whole other can of worms, but all the same principles apply. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
indeed. And so that is the upcoming subject for our not only jewelry competition, but why don't you tell them really quick about the showcase as well?
Oh yeah, so the showcase each month will be the same theme as whoever, anybody who's taking part in the competition. It's all going to be the same theme. But you can enter as many things as you'd like, which is fun. You could just keep making all month. Like that's fun, right? Have a cool, if you don't know what to do, you're bored. How am I being directed this month? And it'll make you try things you haven't tried.
Yeah.
And there's beautiful things in there, and they have their own spot where people don't comment. You get to look with their gallery. They're in a gallery like they're going to be with the contest, and so it's just going to be another beautiful space
Another
that you.
scroll to roll and
Yep,
stroll. Yeah. When
exactly.
you're drinking your coffee in the morning, you can just go ahead and take in an eyeful. And
Hmm.
you guys are hilarious. I wouldn't be tempted to repeat everything in the chat, but open your chat if you are rewatching this and go ahead and
I'll have to.
have some guffaws. Yeah, they're having some fun in there. Um, and so Tara is saying what I'm hearing is use low quality stone to learn faceting. Indeed, a lot of people start with
They're
glass.
inexpensive, right?
Like they'll use a marble, or if you've got a lot of quartz, if you've got a lot of sunstone, whatever you've got a lot of that's clear, you want something that's going to reciprocate the effort you put into it. And so at the very least, glass and quartz, and in my case sunstone, will show me that I did a good job or not. You don't want to have something so poor that you don't understand that like you did it right or not.
Right. Yeah, like
And
so many
so yeah,
inclusions, not getting any reflection back, and that's what you're trying to do with
exactly.
faceting, right? It's like reflecting facets. That's what
It's
your
all
thing
about the
is.
bottom. Again, we love the big butts, and in faceting, the most important part of it is the pavilion. That's the bottom of the stone. You would think not. You'd think, hey, no, no, no. Like in cabbing, the top is like, the superstar. Like
Right.
that's what gets all the play,
Full
right?
game.
Yeah, you've got to you take special care with that pavilion to make sure that the what's coming back up through the table, and the crown of the stone is like magic. Like
Right.
you cast the spell in the pavilion.
Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I can't help but wax poetic when I'm doing it, which I'm in the throes of, as soon as I'm done here, I
Yeah.
have to get back
You
to
just have to.
the Lake
Yeah.
County courts there, the diamond, so that
Oh,
that crown can be finished.
I feel so.
Ma
I just
knows,
feel so connected to those. I feel so connected to them
because
because
you
I've
found them.
actually gone
Yeah.
and picked them up myself, and like my husband got excited about it. It was like, oh my god! Like we were just the whole time like, look at this one, and he doesn't give a crap about rock hounding. Let me just say, he does it to make me happy, and he had a blast finding those things. They're just so fun, and so I like, yeah, I feel like specifically connected to this challenge that Chris put out for you guys. Like, I can't wait to see what you did with the beauties that I have a little pile of here, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. The refractive index, which is like blah 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 science goobly goop. But they really have some incredible ability to refract the light. Is the end of it is like, ooh, glowy stone. And so the clarity and its refractive index are just so phenomenal that they're really like the being called diamond, isn't really that far fetched. They're really pretty stones, and
Wow.
so like hoping to do
Yeah.
some solid on like how cool the stone is. And then I can't wait to see everybody else's, because one
Right?
thing about quartz is that it's like I think I've found the key, and yet I know that it still can be a persnickety mineral for some. And so
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what else
Yeah.
was out there. Oh, hey,
No,
Bob's Rocks is here, and Phil, I know he dropped in earlier. I'm sorry, Ma, go on. I just wanted to
oh,
say,
I was
hey,
I was going to suggest to any of you wonderful facetors out there that it might be a really cool video, maybe to make a comparison of normal quartz and Lake County diamond quartz to see the difference in sparkle. Like make the same size stone with the same cut and see what the difference is like. I would just be, it's a very selfish ask. I really just want to know this. Like I'm super curious about it. But I think that would be cool.
that
Because
would
you're
be
talking
a
about it's so
fantastic
much better.
comparo.
It's like so much better. Like you look at it and go like, whoa, this is like no other quartz I've ever worked with before. Is that how it feels? I'm just curious.
Yeah, those and the Herkimers seem to
Mm,
just have a clarity that's outstanding. I can't say that I have faceted either before, so I
right.
can't say how they behave. I will let you know tomorrow when I take the uh, Lake County diamond that I have on the DOP right now off.
Right. Well, right. And like
But
I've
yeah.
just heard because of the fact that like Lake County diamonds, like something happened to them, like they formed as normal quartz and then they got like half melted basically. Like the temperature and environment they were in got so hot they almost melted and then didn't. But it created incredibly clear stones and also created a higher refractive index than most quartz. So I'm just very intrigued by it.
Yeah, what's interesting about that, like some cuts like the one that I'm on right now, and we're getting into like the weeds on, again, like
Sorry.
hubbada science refraction. No, no, no. Like this is good like for a lot of our audience, but I hope I'm not like going way too out in the weeds to say that a lot of the diagrams that you have when you're doing faceting will
Hmm.
either be specific for a stone. Like, look, this is
Right.
going to be the right refractive index for the angles so that
Yes.
the light's pitched back and forth through that pavilion and up through the crown that works for
Right.
this particular stone. And the next stone over, like if you're working with tourmaline or feldspar or
Right.
a beryl of some kind, it ain't working.
No.
But then there are some designs that actually will work from, 1.5 through to,
Right.
159 or,
It'll cover.
higher.
It'll cover the spectrum of it.
It has
Yeah.
a little bit more breadth, and what's cool
Right.
is that this one that I selected does have, like, a zone, and so if it like, even if the, critical angle is like that of a little bit higher of a refractive index, because
Right.
of the special quartz, we're good. Which would be a total bummer if, like, okay, now that I've cut you, I killed this one stone, and I know that I need to alter the critical angle a bit, But that's
Right.
that's actually part of the art form. It's what makes the fact that you're doing something super mathy but very organic at the same time.
It's
So again,
so
you're dancing. You're still dancing with the organic material.
right. That's intriguing.
It's good. And like the people are saying sexy words like gem, garnet and whatnot. And I know it's getting hot in the chat. Um And yeah, I Rocky was asking if I saw the huge garnet that Steve Moriarty cut recently. Yeah. Yeah, like drool. I love that he's doing more on online. They took a little break, it seemed like, and he was doing some cutting live. And anytime that you want some inspiration, watch somebody who's like gazillion light years ahead of you do something, and you'll want to run to your toy and play too.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll humble you and inspire you at the same time.
For sure. Yeah. So here, 45 carat perfect gem garnet. I mean,
Dang.
yeah.
That's strong. I
45
mean,
carats.
I don't even know what that would look like in your like palm or whatever, but 45 of carats of anything, because I know it does change
Yeah.
depending on what the stone is. That's a different size, whether it's a garnet or something that is less dense or whatever. But yeah, wow.
Fire opal. Like, I was so bummed out when I cut this huge, like a basketball sized fire opal, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like as big as my head. This is so huge. And like it's only a couple of carats.
Yes,
Because
I remember that. I remember that. And the only person you had everybody guess, and the only person that got close was Patrick, and it's because this is a man who's been to that. He's been to that particular rodeo. He knew what was going on. So I'm like 8 carats, and he's like 1.8, and I'm like, okay, buddy. And he was so close to what it actually was.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Phil is saying we're not going too far out. Enjoying the excitement in y'all's voices when we're talking rocks. Yeah. Good, because
Oh,
I know that some of this stuff, like when some people start talking shop a little bit on the, like super too wordy side, like you need to open your lexicon. You're like, okay, all right. I don't know what the heck you guys
when
are
you start
talking
their
about.
eyes glazing over, yeah, it's like when I'm talking to my husband about anything I do. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
You
That's
need
cool.
the dry erase board behind you. Like, this means good and this means bad. I'm going to use all the right words. Yeah. Amex,
Yeah, it
welcome
does.
in. Thank you
Yeah,
for
he
joining.
tries. He tries.
Yeah, and like every single one of these art forms definitely takes a different, route down a dendrite, as far as
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you could be really, really great at mining and not know a darn thing about cabin or
right.
faceting and
Right.
vice versa. You might be a great gem setter, but you wouldn't know what the rough material looked like. You
Right.
just a gem setter is not necessarily a faceter,
No,
or
yeah,
terror.
they're good at their particular craft, and they haven't had to maybe look outside of that. Like yeah, it's worlds within worlds is what it is.
It is, and what's cool is what are those little Russian dolls? I always forget what they're called, but
Singles, yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
those
I
little
know Russian
nesting.
nested dolls, but I don't know. I can never remember I think that the term I've learned is
Yeah.
a not native word to me, so it doesn't
Oh.
stick in
But
my
yeah,
head.
it's
I
like
don't
that.
know.
It's like all
It is
the
like that.
yeah, all of the rock nesting dolls with rocks in them in each doll, of course.
Yep.
And yeah, like,
True.
oh, there it is. Dang, girl. The Patroishka, like I was gonna
Patricia,
say Mafrushka dolls, and I don't even know where I get my names like of things. Like I don't know.
I
That probably
I
means
had something in my
sauerkraut
head
or
and it
something.
isn't that. Yeah, right. I don't
Oh my
know.
gosh,
But
what?
not
Matryoshka. Oh, no
uh-oh.
way. Are we even being serious? Did you just hear me say that, or did you actually just type that? That's so cool.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I didn't.
So
I might have
Google
gotten
it.
something right. They might be those as well. Or maybe
Maybe.
oh, that might mean mom and pop. Are the Petrushka dolls the
Oh.
boys and the Matryoshka dolls the girls?
Mm.
Oh my gosh, I did get it right. Why? I don't know
Amazing.
Russian.
Well, it
That's
must have
so
stuck.
crazy.
It must have stuck at some point. Something about it worked its way into your little brain there and stuck.
Yeah, that's great. But yeah, you got the phonetics bang on there, Amex. Thanks for that. And no, you're not an idiot. I think that those are the daddy dolls.
Yeah,
I
daddy
think that you
dolls.
still could be right, Tara. We got the mommy dolls and the daddy dolls. But yeah. Anyways, huge tangent. We
Shocker.
we yeah, we've got jewelry and nesting dolls going on in full effect here. But so when do folks, it's the 8th of
Yes.
August. When do folks have to be done with all these
Oh,
shenanigans?
okay. So it's 31 days in August. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the
Yeah.
26th is when the submissions will be stopped. Like at midnight on that day, Pacific time. And like this is the thing. If you're up against it, if you're like working on it and it's almost done, just like reach out and let me know because I'm gonna be like, yeah, just do it. Like just get it in as soon as yeah. And like I'm not gonna give you a whole like day, but I've had to ask, I've had to beg for extra time. I've stayed up all night finishing things and been a mess the next day. So like yeah, I will extend that to you, but just try to aim for the 26th by 11:59 because we want to always try to get the poll going on the 27th. It's basically 5 days before the end of the month, so that we've got a nice little voting period there.
All
And
right.
both for the cab contest and for the jewelry contest, those are the same dates, so you don't have to like
Perfect.
figure anything extra out.
And so for the showcase,
Mm-hmm.
you can start now and
Yep.
you can go through the entire month because there's nothing inhibiting you.
Oh no.
And the difference between the jewelry contest and the showcase, as far as your submissions go, is you can bombard the showcase if you want.
Oh yeah.
There's
Yep.
no
As
limit
many as you
to
want.
yeah. And with the contest, you're limited
Keeping
to one,
inspired.
right?
To one, yes, yeah. So yeah, but keep pumping them out if you want to. I believe last month with the jewelry one, Jerry had 2 up before anyone else did, not even 1. So yeah, please do it. We love it. Keep them coming.
Indeed. It's just been amazing to see. And if you want to cross refer, like if you want, eyeballs to see it in the show and tell, and then you want to plop it into the showcase, that makes a bunch of sense
Mhm.
because stuff, might get seen more when it drops in the showcase, but
Absolutely
also
true.
be archived in the showcase.
Yep. Yeah, because you're
So,
gonna in show and tell that you're gonna get a lot of comments and that kind of because
yeah,
people are gonna be excited about what you're doing.
yeah, yeah. And so
Yeah, it's
that
gonna
sort of thing is
eventually get kind of pushed down.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
so
Well,
fun.
I think is did we hit all of the points on the head with a hammer?
We did. The only thing I would want to say is that for August, there's also the Maker Showcase, which is a completely separate thing, which for the month of August is fossils. And so and this covers anything you want to do: cabbing, jewelry, tumbling, make a diorama,
Yeah.
stick it on the wall at your grandma's house. We don't care. Anything you're doing that has to do with fossils, put it up in that showcase, and yeah, we'd love to see it. And that's a do whatever you want, comment as you want, go for it kind of thing. And yeah, this month, Theo launched a giant campaign and finally got
A
fossils to
giant
win.
campaign.
And, and it was
Those.
literally one message, but
Yeah.
yeah, I gave him a victory because he won. So there you go.
Yep,
He
yep.
cared more.
And so, yeah, even if it's that you did a fossil hunt and you want to share some pictures from your
Yeah,
fossil hunt. I mean, like really it's about fossils. It's the showcase, do like
yeah,
bring it.
exactly. Just another way to have fun and participate with everybody
And
else.
Allison is saying inlay, baby, because
See,
like
this uh, she's been doing
go
some gorgeous inlay stuff.
right.
We
It's
need
it's
her around on the Discord more. We need her to like be around and suggest things. Like make that what we do for this part. Yeah, yeah.
Indeed. If you guys have been watching her, you need to be watching her if you haven't. But she had a period there where she was like inlaying things into everything that needed an inlay.
Is there? I'm making an inlay. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Love it. And she's
and
doing
so
a good job.
definitely. And then what Theo wanting fossil shocking? Yeah, I mean, but what any of
Exactly.
us wanting any rocks? I mean, yeah. There's a
Fair.
lot of love to share. And Rocky Mountain Bear would like to know, what am I doing with fossils this month? I shall post a photo of me staring at fossils.
I would stare at that photo of you staring at fossils.
Sure.
It would be
I think it's technically a maker showcase, but you're making a photo. So
right
do that.
to you.
You're making
So
that happen.
like yeah, selfies of photos of you staring at fossils. Yeah, see, it all works.
Right. There's a, effort,
Yep,
effort and a gesture there. Awesome. Thank
love
you
it.
for remembering that. Yeah, I would have definitely spaced that. So
No problem.
yeah, and so I think that we've got it. We've listed off the things that are going on in Discord, and thank you, Ma, for not only like giving us beautiful eye candy to look at and being such a wonderful winner, but also running the jewelry side of it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Fossilception. I like that.
Fossil.
Right, you have to
That's too
twirl
good.
the vert like to like, am I in the what level am I in? That's a video. That would be cool. Um,
It should be.
okay, and Soul is I made a video where I unwrapped fossils. Does that count? Yeah, show off your
Sure.
fossils. Show off your fossils,
Why?
girlfriend. For sure. Yeah, and Allison's like, "Yes." Yeah, we're always about it. And
Yeah, that's
especially
you made a video.
Eric, especially if the fossils are staring back at you, and Rocky is like, they're always watching.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh, that's a great great segue. And you're welcome, Tara. Yeah, it's always
Okay.
fun to talk about what's going on over with our great tribe over there in the Discord. So what we want mostly is for you guys to participate. It's your
Yay.
sandbox. You know, you get to make it the fun playground that it is for sure.
100%.
And Bob is saying all I get to do till the first of the year is looking at rocks and fossils on my desk. No rock hounding till next season. You know, some of the best rock hounding can be in your own collection,
So true.
right?
Yeah.
It's true. And Bob,
Oh
I know
my.
you've got some good stuff. And so, you know, I know that doesn't sound like adventure-y, but like, boy, have I made some serious like new discoveries in my own collection.
Oh, oh yeah. Like, yeah, I went looking for opal you'd given me, and I knew where the box was you'd sent me, and I keep everything wrapped up with its little descriptions and everything so that I know exactly what it is. And I just went through all of it again. I was like, oh, oh, and then like I got to the pink like
Oh, yeah.
limcasts and lost my mind. Like I forgot that was there, you know? And then you rediscover it, and you're like thrilled all over again. So that does.
Yeah.
I assume that Bob is kind of being not allowed to go out and wander around because he's been doing some health stuff, and we want him to take care of himself. But yeah, Bob, rockhound your rocks, man. You've got some stuff you'll discover again and be delighted to see.
Seriously. Yep, yep. And take care, Bob. And Allison put the Discord link again up. So if you're missing out on the Discord, you can go ahead and hit that. It's a 48-hour link. Come and join us. And Tara was saying I did stumble upon some pet wood this past week. Very good. Fossil wood is pet wood.
Yeah,
So
there
that does count. Yes.
counts.
Good on ya. All right. Well, Ma, thank you so much for joining. And we'll be looking forward to seeing what you cook up for us as far as the eye candy goes this month.
Yay! Thank you. Can't wait.
Are you already cooking up something?
Oh, I've got ideas. I
Awesome.
haven't started anything, but I've got ideas. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thanks so much. And
Well,
I can't
thank
wait to see what you're going to show us now, so I'll shut up and let you do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna like run us through a little bit of fossil, you know, to get us started with that right about meow. So thanks
Okay.
again, Ma, and we will see you soon.
Okay, bye everybody, and thank you, Karen.
Cheers. All right. And so what I wanted to share with you was what we had just found on the river from our last expedition. We've been going up the Jurassic River, and it feels like going back in time in every way possible. Those of you who saw the very first Jurassic Park, they even filmed part of it up one of our river gorges nearby where I'm hunting these days. And so with all of that thick fern life and just it's humid, and you can imagine like a velociraptor just kind of trotting out of the brush over there. It feels very much like going back in time. And what's coming up out of the earth is the Jurassic fossils from when Oregon was not even part of the North American continent yet. And so back when we were a little, as Zentner loves to say, you know, a gumdrop, or some basalty gumdrop, German chocolate cake, basalt action out there in the ocean. we had marine reptiles and we had a lot of marine life, and there was wood. And so that's what we get to find if we're looking hard enough. And I've been really, really interested in these fossils ever since hitting the river for the very first time. And as I said before, we find these rocks that are so much older than the beach hunts that I get to go on. That, basically my channel is based upon beach hunts that are from the Miocene era right on the Oregon coast. And so we're talking about 16 million, 20 million, somewhere in there, give or take a million. And what's crazy is that we can go back hundreds of millions of years, uh, according to the geologists and the science. And we're finding very different things. And then some of the things are so similar. And so we've got this thing that I wanted to show you. We found this very last time that we went out. And you're going, that's an interesting piece of shale. It's not that exciting, Karen. What's that, like, big glob on the top? Well, we're seeing some of the shapes that we would expect to see from bivalves. And we've got some really nice bivalve. Here's the finger. Nope, the pinky. Yes. Look at the striations that are the shell impressions from the bivalves. And then we also have right here on the ridge, excuse my chinkered up nails because I've been busy doing exactly this. Do you see those ridges that are emanating here at the lip of this bit in this concretion? We've got like that looks like a whole bivalve right there. But we've got these details that we're going to take a bigger, a microcosmic look at here in a moment. But one of the things that absolutely made me giddy about this particular find, and the video didn't work. It was one of those deals where you don't hit the right button and you end up not videoing, and then you start the video when you put it in your pocket. I don't know if anybody else does that. But, you have to have been making videos for years before you get that talent. So, does anybody know what we call that? Because I find them a fair amount. And so I'm looking here, and we've got they're seed pods of an extinct plant similar to modern horsetails. Oh, that's interesting. Um, we've got some interesting stuff going back and forth here. Um, we just say in seed pods. And so since we're over on like coastal stuff, um because I have a feeling that might have something to do with a different conversation. This is actually a clam belly. And a clam belly for us on my coast is when you have a hollow that's left in a concretion where the clam was, and it fills in and creates a steinkern with agate or quartz or whatever fills in and fills that vug or void. Calcite is another one that we see quite a bit. And so we get clam bellies a lot actually out here on the coast because those concretions have a lot of shells in them. and they'll fill up with some mineral because the soft tissue from the bivalve will have gone away a long, long time ago, and even the shell in many accounts. I have not seen a clam belly from this age ever yet. And yet we have a lot of quartz on the river. And so we have an ancient clam belly here. And so I was pretty darn excited when we got to find this bad boy. And we've got this story. I could have sworn an alien velociraptor was coming down my driveway at 2 a.m. one last night or last summer. Turns out it was just a bobcat, a freaky bobcat that sounds like an alien velociraptor. Yes. Yeah. Bobcats and cougars have some strange noises that they make for sure. And that is a good summer story. And I did want to swap some stories as we're going along with this. But yeah, clam belly just blew my mind. And Scott is talking about what we've got going on right here. So minus tides for the next few days. Good luck finding more. And so if we're here on the coast, more likely you're getting this stuff from the Miocene era, and mostly that and where we were was up the river, like a far ways away from the ocean, and we're still finding clam bellies, like quartz clam bellies to be exact. Now, one of the reasons why I brought this guy home was that I adore the clam belly there, but there's a lot of meat on this rock's bones, and I was actually thinking of thunking with the sledgehammer a few rocks, and I wanted to get some so that I could break them open at home. One of the problems with breaking rocks at the river is that the rocks go everywhere, and you might lose something that was really crucial. And so if you think that you've got one that might be gravid with some good stuff, it's kind of a good idea to take it home so that you can keep them all together. And I have a clam belly, but I don't think it's related. Oh, that's hilarious. And we get them up here on the mountain. It's a trip. Yeah, yeah. Like, when you see a mineralized, filled clam bug, it's pretty crazy. And we've got this guy over here. Oh, so this is another one of those rocks that I wanted to bring home so that I could just kathonk it with the sledgehammer at home. We have a lot of content here, and you can see there is an oval that looks like we've got bivalve, and then we've got this brown stuff that is it wood? Is it bone? And a lot of other things kind of all swirled together. This is the lucky stuff. Now you can see that I kind of broke it a little bit with my hammer, and this guy was so tight together that it didn't want to crack for me there on the beach. And yet, we've got some, like that little guy right there. Interesting enough stuff in it that I was like, it's under, I don't know, maybe it's 10 pounds or something, but it's under a weight that I don't mind schlepping. And so I figured we'd take a look at some of this underneath the microscope and see what we've got on the outside. And then we can conk it with a great big sledgehammer, probably sometime later next week, maybe for the Friday Night Live coming up next week, and see what's inside. I thought that might be fun to do with you guys. And so let's see. We got pork belly. We got oh my gosh. You've got some lightning. That's so scary. I mean, I know that I don't know if you heard about that great big storm that we had in Bend, but like there was a whole bunch of hail and craziness. Yeah, yeah. Don't put out your shoulder. I know. I just went to the chiropractor right before coming on, and we did a new thing, and it totally gnarled my shoulder. But got to move forward. Got out on. I don't think I've talked to you guys since we went to the lake again, and that's what these spoils are from. So after the last Friday Night Live, we did make it out to the lake, and not only did we get some killer winging done, and I got to go for the first time since I made my injury. And so, yay, small victories. But also we had a chance to drive inland and go up to the river that I love going on, and collected some of these specimens for you guys to have a look at. And so, yes, exactly. There's a whole universe inside this rock, just like in MIB. And let's see. Is she cleared to swing a sledgehammer? I don't know. But I did a lot of hammering anyway. It's the other arm. It's my left, and so with my right I've been doing it. Um and so yeah, let's get some microcosmy goodness going on up in here. And so we'll stop sharing that, and we'll get our microscope going. And uh, I figured we could kind of look at a few of these things on the outside. Meanwhile, actually, though, I did want to show you guys. Um, well, we'll get this up, and then we'll get it down. We'll get up to get down. And let's do that. So that doesn't look that exciting yet. I'll show you this first, and then I'll show you that we did indeed find another ammonite. And so if the two that I found before was a fluke, then it's surely not a fluke now that we found yet another. And so actually, before I cruise in, let's see how much focus I've got. Okay, that was the focus limit. So we are here. We can cruise around a little bit. And what I wanted to show you guys was specifically this there's so many weird things in here that when we were talking about, like, there's a whole universe in there. Okay, so the thing that's in the focus square right now, um hey, those guys that like find teeth a lot, doesn't that look like a tooth right there? I swear there's just so much in these concretions that scream a lot of different things that I'm really going to need to get prepping. And so let's zone back out, and let's take a walk down to the brown stuff. And have a look at that. Am I going in the right direction? I think I am. There's so much. And if you think about like the mind blow of this stuff being placed there, hundreds of millions of years together into this stone. So there's some of the matter right there that is questionable. Definitely organic of some kind. Very overexposed right now because my camera is trying to make the change. But those of you who have been watching some of these with me already, from this locale, we can see plenty of cell structure and direction there. And so we're either talking about compressed bone or we're talking about wood. And the more of this that I see, I've seen wood from there as well. And the more bony, like reptile bony, it starts to feel. And The right to bear sledgehammers shall not be infringed, right, Eric? You done right. And hey, Kurt, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And Turtles jokes are hilarious. Yeah, nice soul. Um, right? Are we the oddly hairy dudes who live in the intergalactic bus station locker? Yeah, or those trippy dudes that are making coffee in the break room. Something like that. And so, anyways, we've got all of this weird that is to investigate. This is also what I was talking about with Bob before, when there are probably things in your rocks that might actually bear investigation. Kind of hoping that it's decided. There we go. It got really overexposed there. As we move, you can see all these little bits and pieces of things. You can imagine that there are foraminifera, which are the single-celled life forms that leave their little crystalline bodies behind. And you can almost see the forms of what you would guess they are. We've got some semicircles that definitely are bivalve-esque here. Like, there's a whole circle right there. We've got more of this like bone matter throughout. And then somebody was telling me that some of these dark guys also could be, like toothy and that sort of thing. And so, I mean, there's so much. Here's another bit. And this is another indication of, the reptile as opposed to wood, is you can see how glassy some of this is. Like, look at how glassy that material is right there on the perimeter of this. Now, I don't have eyes for all the stuff that happened back then. Maybe we had like a bryozoan that grew on the outside of the tree or something like that. I don't know, but like, look at how lacy that blackness is. We'll get nice and close, and we'll move over to the corner of this one so that we can get a better look, because you can see how lacy. Whoa, too far. Back. There you go. Sorry, this is not on the nice swivel that I usually use. Can you see how lacy that is? There's like definitely sully stuff. And so, what would your guess be? And Mr. Rob Thomas, thank you for coming. Good to see you. And thank you, Soul, for suggesting to hit that like button. That is, something for free that you can do that would really, really help out the channel. Since I'm not making videos right now, all the little things that pump up the algorithm actually really, really help a lot, so that they know that there's signs of life out here. And we have from Eric, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed into the microzone. Thank you, Eric. And Lava Bison, that's so sweet. We've got some memberships coming on here. Let's have a bell. We'll ring this bell while we look at this lacy, interesting material here. Welcome to the Fossil Friday tribe. 5 new Ozone members. Really, really appreciate that. And so here Rocky Mountain Bear is saying, ooh, it does kind of look like reptile osteoderm or bone. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Like I'm so cautious not to get overexcited. Um, who else here wants to open this thing? I feel like it's Christmas Eve and we're asking like, can we open a present now? So getting in a little bit closer, you can see very, very filigree laciness. I'm gonna not be smooth here, but I figure we'll change um our view so that we can get some better looks. So here is some of the matrix material, and it is well conglomerated and well compressed. If you think about the amount of time that this stuff has been hanging out, I mean, it's nuts. There's a fair amount of greenstone and there's a fair amount of granite up this area. I'm trying to go in a direction that I know that there's more stuff, and I'm trying not to dump this off the side of my table also. So let's see. You can just see there's just so many bits and pieces. Like we could rock hound in this stone for a long time and find bits and pieces of who knows who. We're not just into what's, we're into who's. You know, there are parts of things in here. And the more I look at it underneath the microscope, the more I am sure that we've just, we do have death plates, and we just have to find out the who's that are in here, and find some things that are a little bit more definite. Like, what's that? What's that going on over there to the left that I just brought into focus? What is that? Plant? Is it animal? Is it insect? Probably not. Oh, we got like almost like a little leg over there though. And I've run across a lot of little bits of these rocks that look like they could again be parts of teeth and that sort of thing. And so it is really really interesting to tour these, especially underneath the microscope. They really come alive. This is like a living stone. And Ma has been a member for 12 months. And woohoo, 1 year, best $24 I've ever spent. Oh, thank you, Ma, so much. A bell for you. In fact, let's bring this down for a second. And oh, there's our and we'll bring me back up. We'll give a bell. Thank you, Ma. So I said that we have found another for sure ammonite. I'm going to give you guys a preview. Although, of course, there's going to be a video coming out. Who knows when that's going to happen? She has to get around to doing the video. But you guys, since you're here tonight with me, you'll get a preview. There is ammonite number 3, and I have the negative and the positive for this guy. You can see it's definitely 3-dimensional. You see its ledge right there. It is in full effect. See how there's the lighting kind of hitting it better. There's nacre on the shell and everything. And because this one actually is in better shape than the other ones, not as far as like the other ones have more nacre and more of like the sutures and that sort of thing. This guy has a lot of the outside detail, and so we will probably be able to pull an identification on this particular one, as long as they've seen one of these before, because there's not a whole lot of writing that I get to do. So I need to do some serious research, and hopefully find out what they're thinking. So we'll pound on this big rock, and we'll make sure my doctor feels okay about me doing that. Whoever that was like worried about that before. I'll be careful. Maybe I'll find some more for us to pound on also. I'm gonna move a few things around. Here's our negative. So there you can see, yeah, there's the other side of the shell. There's almost nothing so magical as, this little nautilus, this little ammonite was sleeping in the stone for millions, like hundreds of millions of years, waiting. And I get to be the first guy that sees it, and then you guys get to be the first other guys that see it in that many years, and then we get to find out what its name was. What name do you think is the name of this little guy? Who wants to name this ammonite? And Ma, thank you so much. Gas monies for more adventures. We'll be on the road again soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ma. I really appreciate it. Didn't have to do that. You were so much a star of the show tonight. Anyway, I'm getting the table ready so that we can see another stone, and it's sitting right here already in the vise. And I wanted to show you this stone because, again, like what Bob was talking about, or what we were talking about to Bob more appropriately, was that sometimes you can go through your own rocks and do some rock hounding. Our big rock that I started with this evening, that big, huge conglomerate I just put on the ground, that's rock hounding in your own rocks. We're going to bang it open and see what's inside. The geodes are like that and that sort of thing. And then you've got also kind of pudding stones and conglomerates that might have some interesting hounding to do too. So we're going to do that. And I also want to make sure that we don't get too behind in the chat. And yeah, thank you about that ammonite. That's beyond exciting. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that I at all am able to have access to such coolness. Am I even allowed? So I actually had this dialed up for us to see something right away. And I can't believe it. It might even work. It might even work that way, guys. Thanks again, Ma. Really appreciate you very, very much. And in lieu of a doctor's note, that's what Steve is for. Hand him the sledge. But I like sledging so much. Raise your hand if you love to like smash stuff with a sledgehammer. Anybody else? It's so great. It's so much fun. And just looking okay. Just carefully treading through the other chat there. So we're gonna bring this bad boy up. And remember how I was talking about like very filigree, like patterning. So this is in that conglomerate, and this guy is sitting in there. And it is anybody's guess, but I would say that the construct of what we're looking at seems a little bit too regular for it to be uh anything random, but that it is organic. And as we get closer, you'll see why I kind of conclude that we are looking at probably matrix material that filled up a something. And uh right, hammer. Right, Rocky? And Bob's Rocks raises thy hand. Yes, loving the sledging. And Ma, I love sledging, but I like continued mobility more. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, me and Bob probably should hold off a little bit. And it looks like Jeff is here. Oh, good to see you, Jeff. Hello everyone. Haven't been stopped, long eaten, and can't chat, but hey. All right. Well, thank you for coming, and bon appetit. Hopefully you're having something good. We're looking at bones and things. So bon appetit. Har har har. And Mr. Rob Thomas is saying, I like putting stuff in the hydraulic press, which is also good fun. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's that whole channel devoted to that, huh? And yep, we've got a lot of smashers here. So Cheryl is saying, yes, 100% love to smash. Oh, yes, it's so good. And it is almost like an amygdaloidal basalt inclusion, but the lace is somewhat like this filigree is on a fractal level. And that's what kind of blew me away from it being mineral and it leaning towards being more of an organic feature. So we could be looking at, some very, very dark material that's, left over from, say, a bryozoan or something like that. But that is 100% organic material, kind of like what we were looking at before, the glassy black stuff. And so you guys, pitch in your ideas. But I saw this little guy in our pudding stone, and I was like, oh, look at you hiding there. We've got bits of this organic stuff all over the record, you guys. It is in like all of the rocks. It's not just a little bit, it's a bit. Um, and so we have the orange full moon just rose over the farm field across the street, and in the west, the sulfur dioxides from the erupting Russian volcanoes has produced a wonderful purple hue on the horizon. Wow, that is poetry. That's beautiful. I wonder where our moon is. It should be coming up very, very soon as well. Thank you for sharing that. I did want to hear your stories, and so uh, bring it on. And uh Lava Bison is wishing our truck hounder a good luck on his hunt. So we're getting closer so that we can see what makes this what it is. Closer, closer, closer. And you can see that there is a quality that is, again, fractal. Like we have the big circles, and then we have smaller circles and smaller circles and smaller circles. That definitely kind of point to more of an organic structure and less of a mineral structure. Just moving a little bit. I wanted to get this bit into focus. There we go. I mean, look at how detailed it gets below this big, opening. We've got all these little guys down here. Kind of reminds me of like, strawberry seeds or something like that. And then we've got them arching in rows going up this way. I mean, this is very regular if you look at it. Crazy. So I'll get a little bit closer, and then we have another what looks like an organic feature on this rock as well. Now we know how old this material is, and then because we don't find it in situ, it's hard to like be exact because these are river cobbles that we pick up. They are not in the uh, original stratigraphy. So it's really hard to know what we've got. So let's go ahead and blast on out. Sometimes after going close, it really helps to see something far again. And there's just a regularity there that is kind of suspect. And yeah, there's really, really good green grains in here. I'm sure that there's peridot. There's a lot of peridot and garnet in this particular area. So we're going to roll, and I don't know, maybe I should have slow rolled with you guys close, but you guys can kind of see this is very coarse grained conglomerate, and we go through the very, very slick black rock. And a lot of this is that little bits of the phyllite that I was showing off during our first video on these rocks. And so that is basically a like mica and a lustrous sheened kind of slightly coarser than slate uh, foliation. And let's cruise on over here. We're not there yet, although this little piece of lemon meringue pie was interesting. I'm not entirely sure about that. Hadn't really looked very close at that before. But that is the kind of like a fissure inclusion. And it's like we've got like a shell right there with some nice nacre. You can see the ridges for its shell. So that's in really good condition considering how old it is. And we'll keep on going. That almost looks like, like a line of teeth or something. When you're really close in, like it's easy to kind of start letting your imagination go. Okay, so here is what I think we were just looking at, but the profile. So one of the pieces of like this type of matter was sticking straight up and was cross-sectioned with what we were looking at before. And here is a big piece of it that we're looking more of a profile on. And again, like it's just the deepest black and looking so much like more of a bone material than a wood material. But your guesses, I would love to hear them. And now I'm hungry. Yeah. Um, really cool little features. Like I love Mr. Turtle Montana just said, I love it when you take a really close look at what it would otherwise be a completely ordinary rock. Like this is just a pudding stone, but it's a pudding stone from the Jurassic period, and we might have like little bones of, little guys in it. So why not? 11 secret herbs and minerals. Right. Oh, nice. Um, let's see. And Just cruising down. Awesome. Awesome. Did I find this on the beach? No. What I'm trying to say, guys, we don't have any old material on the beach. And when I say old, I mean that all of it is fairly young fossil, which is Miocene era, which is only like, say, 16, 20 million years old. This material that we are going to an exposure that is one of the onlyest in Oregon where you can get into Jurassic period stuff, which is like hundreds of millions of years old. And so we're looking at what possibly could be left behind by um, more marine reptile bone than it being the marine mammal that I'm used to finding. And so my eyes are new and I am learning as we find and doing tons of research. But I thought I would share this with you because it is unique and fresh from either tumbling around in the river or potentially, I mean, it's fairly rounded. So either it came out of its exposure rounded and it had been tumbled before back when it was becoming a fossil stone, or has been out of the wall for a while. And I don't know where the source is, but that'll be part of finding. So here's a nice close look at what we were looking at. And there's some geography to it, like the center is the high point, and then it is like a dome, and so it goes down on either side. And so I'm just scrolling through your field of view here, getting the terrain. So we're at the top right now with the crisp, and then we can go down the other side on the right hand side. But this is really very, pardon me, organic. And like again, anybody's guess what we're looking at. And imagine what you could see with 100,000 times magnification. Well, if I wanted to do a thin section, which I could, we could look at it through my other microscope, which I think it goes up to 1,000. And I could put this camera on it. I like the camera that it had decided to give up the ghost, and so I haven't been using it, but I could always switch cameras. That wouldn't be that hard to do. And so at any rate, we had like right out the gate these two um, interesting fossils in a regular conglomerate stone. And so let me just kind of, I think I went out too far. But yeah, here's what the stone looks like. And it's going to be slightly out of focus on account that my my camera doesn't want to do the long view really. It would rather be close. But yeah, here's that mineralization in the fissure. And so it decided to pick up some cool who knows what, calcite or something there. And this is what the general terrain, but like we're looking at tumbled rocks from another era that all got concreted into this concretion pudding stone. So how funny is that? That these rocks even were pre-tumbled. They're even older than this rock that is the assembly of them all. It kind of, I don't know, for me that's a little bit of a mind blow. And so we'll cruise back over and you can see our filigree piece of mystery over there. And there's a lot of little gemmy parts to this. You can see that big hunk of quartz or whatever that is. And another thing that seems to have, a fluted pattern to it. So maybe another shell. And so let me take that down. And it is what's crazy. A nudibranch on the beach. It would be cool. It would be so cool. But those guys are so soft. I don't know that we'd find a fossil. But it is a bonkers concretion. But how bonkers might one of your concretions be? It just took taking a closer look, I guess, is my point. And actually, all this sand, like very, very coarse sand that's making up this concretion, is also very gemmy. And so, you might want to have some fun looking at your own rocks, especially if you've got pudding stones, and there might be like a whole nother rock hounding expedition within your pudding stone. Does the white matrix have striations too? And so it's mostly the components of this matrix material is like a very coarse sandstone. And so if anything, perhaps you're asking if the sandstone has been compressed, because a lot of times you'll get like all of the mineral structure moving in the same direction because of heat and compression. Is that what you're asking? And I don't see that really at first glance with this pudding stone. Not to say that if we got really close that, all of our bits of sand might be sharing the same property of the compression. There were some that I looked at before actually that did have that. This one not as much. And so it might not be as cooked. It's actually a great. Now, I don't know if this is because of the camera or if it's because of the actual grain structure, but it almost looked like we had a descending from left to right grain pattern, and maybe even a crosshatch going top to bottom. But that could also be the way that my camera is reading this. So that would be something that I would do with my naked eyeballs and not trust the camera's eye if I was trying to find something that delicate. But I mean, like, what a good looking, look at the stuff that's inside here. Like all of this super sparkly gemmy stuff is nice all by itself. Like, if we didn't know any better, if I didn't tell you that we were looking at just a common pudding stone out of a river, we might be looking at something that was really cool. And a very good observation on the stones in there already being so weathered and rounded when they got picked up and compounded in there. Yeah, because I don't know how many of you guys have access to pudding stones, but sometimes like it's clear that something congealed stones that were still jagged, like fresh stones. Whereas other pudding stones, everybody's already cobbled who's inside the stone, which is really, really interesting too. Like it makes it, there's a lot of storyline that you can kind of read from who's in there and in what shape. Deep into the microzone tonight. Yeah. Thank you. And here is a question. So is this tillite or just your standard metamorphic conglomerate? I would guess the latter. It's I believe it was just here, that it hasn't done any traveling. I believe that it is conglomerate from, I mean, the only traveling that I believe this did, and believe me, I was not there, so I have no idea. But being is that, again, we were in accreted terrain, which means that we were born out at sea and we slowly docked onto the North American plate, that these guys were probably bebopping around on our, like a collection of things on our island, and or when we docked, part of what that might have had going on, but I don't believe that it had anything more going on. I could be completely wrong. Every pudding tells a story, right? And if you don't eat, you can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat. Oy vey, I almost got that one wrong. Um, and that's what's so cool. So much time had passed already when they joined this rock. Yeah, and so yeah, like a lot of components that were weathered from wherever. I mean, it's kind of a mind blow when you start thinking about it. Um, and sedimentary, and I would say, yeah, very, very much so as far as being a sedimentary conglomerate. I think that, we're seeing sand, and then we're seeing the bigger gemmies that are all playing a role, and some fossil and all sorts of bits and pieces. I mean, this is a real neat snapshot of what was there, maybe sitting on the beach, or maybe it was uh what am I looking for? Alluvial plain, where we had a mixture of marine reptiles and a river that was feeding into the ocean. And so, uh, it collected some cool stuff. I think really cool. See how it almost looks like there's striations. Excuse me. Ooh, dry. And so we'll go ahead and do this and this and bring me back. Here I am. All right, you guys. That was some fun microzone. There's like so much more. I could just cruise through these rocks all evening long. It'll be fun to break open that one rock. And then there's one over my shoulder that's behind my arm, actually, that is particularly of interest. And I'm not sure. I don't think I can break that one. We're going to have to take a scribe to it or something like that. But we'll see all of those in greater depth in a video that is coming very soon. I'm compiling that, and I did do part 1 for the river, so at least you know that I'm good for that. I'm so pumped on this stuff right now. I'm gonna try to strike when the iron is hot. And yeah, just completely different geology. It's just crazy. Good night, Bob. Thank you for joining us. Steinkerns to you and yours. I hope that you have a great weekend rock hounding or healing or going through the rocks that you have at home, trying to find the little surprises that you haven't found yet, because you know that they're in there, or maybe even a box of rocks that you forgot you had, which is such a fun thing. So I hope that you guys have some good adventures planned. We will probably see you again sometime this weekend. Remember that the facetors are getting together with Rufotris and showing off their Lake County diamonds on, it sounds like, Sunday, and all kinds of fun things going on. So you guys rule. Thank you, Turtle and Scott and Jennifer and Ma, for coming on this evening, and for Allison with your beautiful wrench skills, and that Opal guy, and all y'all that came tonight. Blind Squirrel rocks. You guys absolutely do rock. And so I'm gonna send you out with the whales playing over here near the house, and I'll see you guys at the lives. Cheers again. Be alive, everybody. Are you here? Am I here? And we can't hear me. Let's start over again. Are you here? Am I here? And we can't hear me. Let's start over again.